Okay, the evaluation in a project, which is what this tutorial is going to look at, is a chapter that is often written right after the methodology is completed and the student has gone out and gathered data. Now, we're in this case not doing it at that stage. And there is a reason to do an evaluation at that point rather than at the end of the project, because actually in an evaluation you are considering, and you'll see that in the first point here, the research techniques that you used. So you will have gathered data using some tools and equipment that may have given you quality data or may not have given you quality data. So let's just break this down. What actual about your techniques makes your data reliable? So we can see here. And by techniques, I mean the equipment and how you got the gradient, the distance, how it was measured, and how we acquired our pH data. And what made it reliable and what made it unreliable, what was good and what wasn't good, okay? And we can see that here, what went right or wrong with the data gathering. So research techniques, the equipment we use and how we go about gathering data can challenge how good our data is. Equally, the reliability, so how much do we trust our data? Well, the reliability of the data comes down to this idea, or a number of things actually. First of all, if our techniques aren't good, then our data's not going to be that reliable because the quality of the numbers we're gathering is questionable based on the equipment we were using and the way we were gathering that data. Likewise, if we're working from quite a small sample, in this case one transect, then is that a big enough sample? Is one transect enough to determine if pH changes as you move away from a beach? Yes, you might have proved it on one transect, but is that enough to draw a conclusion? And if not, then you need to say so. What does that mean? You're only really seeing one small slice of a beach from the beach right through to the back of the sand dunes. Did you stop often enough? Was the distance between your samples too big or was it too small? If it was too big, because we did 20 meters, then what problem is created by having too big gaps in your sample locations? Okay. External factors. So external factors could be to do with weather. They could be to do with unfamiliarity of a place you're visiting. They could be to do with people getting in the way of gathering data. Is there an external factor you can identify? It could be also time, by the way, time you had available, that has determined that has made the quality of the data not so good. Most of this you'll notice is about criticizing the quality of the data, why you're saying that the techniques weren't good and therefore the reliability of your data is not good enough. And I've already talked about this point here. Is there an issue with the equipment you used? When you think about equipment that you use, is there better equipment that would have improved the quality of your data gathering? And if so, then you want to say so and why it would have done so. Also, however, you might want to identify that the technique you used is maybe better than other alternatives. So whilst you didn't use the best, it might be better than some. And if you can identify a simpler level of technique that you chose not to use, you can maybe explore why you didn't use the simpler technique, because obviously it wouldn't give you such good data. This last little bit's kind of a proof, it's very important. But every time you identify something that questions the quality of your data, whether it be when you went, or the amount of transects, or the sample size, the distance between the samples, or the equipment you used, you need to explain a better way of getting more reliable data. How would you, if you were to do this again, improve on the quality? And if you give me a solution, you need to say why that makes for better data. Now, if you can only identify one thing, you'll find you'll get a lower mark. More often, you can identify things that challenge the quality and reliability of the data, then the higher up the evaluation mark